Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro because it's kind of just been the talk of the town, but kind of a really big, serious issue that a lot of people had a chance to talk about, think about, and well, kind of like now have a chance to settle on. So as you guys probably know, the PlayStation 5 Pro is meant to be like that next generation, those big wave of graphics, and us just kind of like appreciating the fact that it's going to be worth our money. We want to spend more money to get a better product and make it look nicer, make games feel better, and we just want to sit there and appreciate it. But when it comes to games, we're seeing like a really big diminishing return, where if you go and you spend more and more money, are you really getting more value out of what you're spending your money on? Now, it's been a little bit of a weird call when it comes to how expensive it is and if it's worth it, if you want to go for a PC or whatever. It's kind of going to be ongoing for the next few weeks for sure. And well, it kind of sucks because people right now are kind of making these big articles and discussing. We're going to be talking about a Bloomberg article over here, basically discussing the fact that the graphics race for consoles are like dying out, like to the point of like we are getting to the tippy top tier of graphics, of fidelity, of resolutions, where it is getting harder and harder to get more people involved, especially in regards to like say a GameCube, to a PS2, to a PS4, to a PS5, where there's still been like notable jumps. So this is where things are going to get interesting and also strange. So let's go talk about it. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Leave a like, your thoughts down below, and of course the Twitter and Twitch you guys want to follow. And let's go dive on into it. So as I mentioned, the PlayStation 5 Pro is hopefully cool. Like, I like the idea of the PlayStation 5 Pro. I will most likely buy a PlayStation 5 Pro. I think that some people may want it. I always feel like to put in these disclaimers so people don't hate on me. But I do want to say that there is a hard line, and we're kind of hitting that line. Whereas of right this second, it kind of seems like we're kind of marginally not hitting those big improvements. If I have a PS5 to a PS5 Pro, and I'm just a normal consumer, I may not even see the big improvements that people are talking about. And I think that's somewhat of a big issue. Now, I'm relatively pro PlayStation 5 Pro, all things considered. And I think it's cool. I think it's worth it to have. I think it's cool. There's going to be a niche for it, but it's nice to have. But I do want to agree that there's kind of a weird issue on the, I guess, overall growth of gaming, of like where we go next. Like, how good can graphics really get? Do I want to even see all the pores on someone's face and like the random individual strands of their facial hair, or is like enough? So basically for this one, the PlayStation 5 Pro shows the futility of the video game graphics race. It's become redundant to say that the modern game has great graphics the way everyone did back in the 1990s or in the early 2000s. These days, they all do. Basically trying to go and say that every single game out there is going to look nice. You look at any PlayStation 4 or 5 game, Ratchet & Clank, God of War, Horizon, even look at like Hellblade, even Halo, the games are going to be phenomenal, like to the point where that's almost just the expected standard. And if for whatever reason it's not, then that's when it's the problem. Unless it's a stylistic choice like Astrobot, which funny enough, Astrobot kind of shows that not every game has to look like a cinematic masterpiece or a movie. And at the same time, sometimes just having fun with the game and utilizing things like having more textures, more marbles, bigger environments, more people in it, more trees, more foliage. Sometimes also might kind of make the games a little bit better too as well. So Jason Schreier over here had a chance to talk about this, saying, for this one, the diminishing returns are getting to the point where it's even worse. The diminishing returns themselves, like you're not seeing as big of an improvement after every single console generation. So do you want to keep on making them? Do you want to keep on rolling with it? You don't know. Like at this point, we have to kind of debate on it. So right now, the PlayStation 5 Pro is utilizing AI and like filling in the background, which is nice. Like it's actually a good improvement. I respect it. But like really, what is next? Like if the backgrounds are looking beautiful and everything's running at 8K, and like where is the next major jump? 16K? Are we going to have augmented reality? Like really, where do you kind of go? And this is a valid comment, because we're thinking about this in the gaming sense. Like, where do you really go? Like, if everything looks realistic at a certain point, yeah, it might even look more realistic. But what if it gets so realistic to the point where it doesn't even seem like it's realistic anymore? Like, it's almost hyper realistic to a fault. And that could be an issue. Like, that is an issue sometimes. I'm sure you guys have seen like movies where it's just a little too real, or you've seen like a cartoon or show and it's just trying to be a little bit too real. And you're like, it throws me off. It doesn't feel organic or real, or seems off or strange. I don't know. So the most striking thing about this week's PlayStation 5 Pro reveal wasn't the internal power or sticker price, although that is still shocking and I do agree. It was the games. In a 9-minute presentation revealing the new iteration of the PS5 and touting its impressive hardware specs, lead architect Mark Cerny showed footage of games including The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Forbidden West, and Gran Turismo 7. One common factor, they were all also released in PlayStation 4 and also looked phenomenal even back then. And that is an issue. And that is a problem because at the end of the day, what do you really do? Like if they look good on PS4, they're going to look good on PS5 and PS5 Pro. Now, I do want to say there's definitely a difference between Horizon on PS4 and Horizon on PS5. Same thing with like Hogwarts Legacy. So like it is a valid reason. It is a proper reason for it to exist, you know? Like it's better. It is better. But we're getting to the point now of where does better go? Like I can tell a PS4 to PS5 Pro, that's a big improvement. That's a big jump. I like that. It's worth it to me. But when you go to PS5 to PS5 Pro, is it as big of a jump? And that's where a lot of the current market is because we've had like over 50 million PS5 sales. What's going to drive those people to buy another one? Because they already like the PS5, they already bought it. I was also saying another common factor too, like I said, they're all just really good graphics. So like we're getting to the point where like those diminishing returns are getting cut soon. Now, I still think there is room for improvement, but is that room of improvement worth spending more money on? And that is the real question to see if the PS5 Pro is going to be well received or not. And that's why I'm curious on, especially with PC taking such a big foothold, because every brand new PC user is going to go and buy a PC and like play on Steam and EA rather than a PS5 Pro. Many video game enthusiasts have noticed over the last few years that graphics have reached a point of diminishing returns, and I would agree. Now, I still notice it, but there will be more so leading towards it rather than it's at it, it's leading towards it. Gone are the days of primitive avatars and chunky monsters. Today, most video games hit a level of graphical fidelity so vivid and realistic that it's hard not to marvel at the pores on a hero's face or the way that blade of grass sways in the wind. It's become redundant to say that a modern game has even good graphics because everyone expects it. In the past, each console generation brought forward massive leaps in technology, and I would agree. From like the PS1 to PS2 was crazy, or like the N64, getting 3D games for some of the first times ever. Playing Mario in 3D was insane. Or the Wind Waker, bro, where it's an open world where you can explore everything. Or like, you know, it's crazy. Like going from like a top-down game because it's like you had to 3D to first person because it just gets better and better and better. But right now, like, yeah, it's kind of like you know, you have these blocky angles and blocky t-shirts and blocky women, you know, that might get better or worse. It could really kind of go in almost every single direction and no one really knows. And that's where I think things get a little bit on the roughy side on that. So by the basically 2010s, you had to start squinting to see the yearly graphical improvements. Nowadays, they barely exist. And the Red Dead Redemption 2, it released 6 years ago for the PlayStation 4. It still might be even like one of the best looking games of all time. It's insanity. It's insane. So they're saying this is all good. So the games don't need to go keep making mass graphical improvements where they can instead be pursuing innovation in other ways. But watching Sony's presentation was a reminder that despite the giddy excitement over ray tracing and reflective surfaces, the graphical improvements brought by the newest consoles on the market are insignificant. And I kind of agree on that a little bit. I do actually kind of low-key agree on that a little bit. So why do we want to buy the PS5 Pro? What do you want to do with the PS5 Pro? Like, how does this kind of work out? And that's where things, I think, get a little bit on the weird side. Because is it worth the money? No one knows. Like, it's up to your personal opinion. So basically saying the $700 PlayStation 5 Pro will certainly appeal to tech aficionados, which is like the niche. And they're hoping they get a lot of people on that. With a lot of disposable income who want to play games at 4K resolution at the highest frame rates possible. But most people will not be able to tell the difference between Final Fantasy VII Rebirth running the PS5 or PS5 Pro because it's good either way. Now, I have seen some people saying the opposite, so I may want to make another video and discuss it. Because it's kind of a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff to break down and talk to. There's a lot of yapping, a lot of like little small things mixed on in. So some people are saying it's a huge improvement. Some people are saying it's fantastic. Some people are saying like it's the good, you know? And some people are saying I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I think a normal person couldn't. Like, I think without a doubt, a normal person could not. But if you're a big gamer or you played it already, like, yeah, you could probably go and see, like, yeah, you could probably tell the difference, whether it's the backgrounds or AI or foliage or whatever it might be. So people are saying, do we need these consoles? Do we even need this? Like, is there a reason for it? And I would say yes. Like, I do like the push of improving consoles and making graphics better and utilizing AI and ray tracing if it's a better gaming experience. But at the same exact time, is it worth it? For PlayStation, maybe. Are people going to buy it? We don't know. We'll have to, it's going to be an experiment. We'll see. But this might be that tossing point where gaming actually might be more chill. We may not have as many improvements on consoles. Look at the Xbox. It's been a big issue nowadays too. So do we want to have an Xbox too? We don't know. Is the PS5 Pro going to sell good? We don't know. Is it worth it? We don't know. We'll see at the PS6. I think the PS6 would do better, but at the end of the day, it's like, how do we know what we really need? These diminishing returns are bad. PS4 looked phenomenal, so it's harder to go and sell people more and more all the time, especially once again, where some people are going to PC and the games are even better on PC already, so it's harder to go do with it right. So people are curious, like, do we even need this? Do we need the PS5 Pro? Because these games are looking nice. And like they said, it failed to beat the PS4's growth and is also lagging on sales, although it's very similar because people are like, hey, we're still playing these old games like Fortnite or Rocket League. Do we really need to have better specs at the end of the day? And we don't really know. So I'm curious to see how it's going to end up at the end of the day. The Switch is still doing phenomenal, by the way, and I just think we might be getting close to the point where consoles may not be needed, or they're getting to the point where they might be so optimized that we're not going to see as much major jumps over time. I do kind of agree with this, but I think we maybe have maybe one or two more console cycles, and most people are going to probably go to like some PC iteration. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments down below, because it is intriguing. Like, do we really need this? Who knows? Is it a big enough upgrade? Who knows? Like, we'll find out, I guess, in the next year or two to see how the sales actually are. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. A little bit more of a yap video, but I appreciate it. And subscribe if you guys are new. Twitter and Twitch down below. Please follow, and I love you guys.